Pittsburgh, but Trump, so many young teams have come in here and have been intimidated.
And the Colts are young, too. They average 1.9 years NFL experience. And, Don, playing in this stadium against the Cowboys, this is it. This is the most televised franchise there is in the NFL. This team is supported from Alaska to Alabama. And it's tough for these guys who 2 years ago were sitting in their college dorms or fraternity houses watching the Dallas Cowboys play in Texas Stadium in Dallas, Texas.
Cowboys also had a dramatic come-from-behind win. They feel it's turned their season around, but Trump, do you feel that one win like that, a come-from-behind win as they had over New Orleans, can turn a struggling season around and make them a contender?
It can. Today they start Danny White. They started Hogaboom at the beginning of this season to try to give him a spark. They're looking for a spark. This is a team that's had problems in the offensive line, but that win last week, the points they scored in the fourth quarter, it can ignite them.
Well, Tony Dorsett said it brought us together as a team. We're ready to roll now. We'll find out.
Frank Bush last night, Don, told us that his is a team of repetition. There's no pretenses about this football team. What they do best is run it, and that's exactly what they plan on doing today.
Another vital aspect of the Cush teams, they're well-conditioned. As our coach Tom Landry says he feels better about his Dallas team now than he has all season. Coach Landry was so excited after that win over New Orleans last Sunday night. Monday came to practice, locked his keys in the car with the motor running. Downfield, the kickoff. Fumbled by an up-back, and now Dallas runs it back, and coming downfield with the ball for the Cowboys is number 89, Brian Solonen. So a low kickoff by Biasucci, and we look at the Cowboys coming out on offense. Danny White is at quarterback. Tony Dorsett has not rushed for over 100 yards in 11 games. Ron Springs, a good pass catcher with him. Cowboys are buoyed by the return of Tony Hill. He's caught 16 passes in 2 weeks after missing 5 games. Dallas has not run the ball well this season. Offensive line has some good people, but they've been moved around because of injuries. Some players out of position. Dallas comes out first and 10. Indianapolis, they get in on defense with a very young, aggressive defense that plays as hard at the end of the game as they do in the opening series. Very well-conditioned team. Quick out. With the ball is Tony Hill, and with them are blockers, and Tony Hill's ahead for a first down for the Cowboys. 13-yard gain. As we look at the Colts defensive front, Donnell Thompson's the best, a pass rusher from North Carolina. Wisniewski a good nose tackle out of Penn State. Linebackers could be the strength of this defense. Cook, Odom, Kraus, and the blitzer Vernon Maxwell. Secondary a little shaky. Some people are hurt. Rookie starts at left corner, Preston Davis, free agent from Baylor. And that's an area that Danny White and the Cowboys will be going after, the Indianapolis secondary. First and 10, Dallas. Again, White throws and right back to Tony Hill. Playing well off him was Preston Davis. He stuck him, but they got more yards.
Rookie free agent Preston Davis going to get a lot of business here, it appears. Danny White throws 2 passes both to Tony Hill. These are not complex patterns. They're just simply to establish, try to get Davis a little farther up the field on Hill than I would expect they'd throw it behind him.
Tony Hill, the great one from Stanford, went out in the first game with a shoulder injury, missed 5 games, but he's been right back in form the last 2 times out. As we see, he is again today with 2 catches. 2 throws from Danny White makes it now 2nd down and 8. 2nd down and 2. Give to Dorsett, and the stutter stepping. Dorsett is going to hit close to a first down. Needed to get to the Dallas 48-yard line. Johnny Cook's knocked him down.
Don, in talking to the Dallas coaches, they feel that their lack of success throwing the ball has kept linebackers at the line of scrimmage, and that's kept the Dallas Cowboys from that very good running game that historically they've had. Dorsett's not run the ball poorly. He's had around 75, 80, 90 yards a game, but he hasn't really broken that long run, and that's because of the lack of the passing game.
Dorsett is actually, Trump, on target for a 1,200-yard season, even though he hasn't been over 100. Cowboys moving well, though, with that diverse offense. They now have the first down. They're second in this drive. No score. We're early in the first quarter. Osby, the tight end, in motion. The pitch back. The touchdown, Tony, and Dorsett crosses midfield and goes out of bounds at about the 49-yard line of Indianapolis, where the Colts safety, strong safety Mark Kafensis knocked him down. Dorsett, like Walter Payton, as remarkable as all those yards he gets is the fact he's played so long in his 9th year, taken all those hits, and has never been hurt.
Very slow always, it seems, coming back to the huddle, but there are few players in the NFL who have that first step burst up the field like Tony Dorsett, along with Walter Payton, Kurt Warner when he's healthy. He can accelerate. All of a sudden, he's eating up 10 yards, and then he's gone.
Now the Cowboys, after a gain of about 2 yards, have a 2nd down and 8, just over the midfield stripe. Danny White making his first start at quarterback for Dallas this season. Up the middle he throws, and Cosby, his Pro Bowl tight end, catches the ball at the 44-yard line of Indianapolis. Cliff Odom quickly knocks him down. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 3.
So far, this is as we expected. With their inability to run the ball on a regular basis, it's no surprise that the Dallas Cowboys come out throwing a little play action fake here and there just to test each one of the defensive backs, find each receiver open, and hopefully to get the defensive backs up close to the line of scrimmage.
Brings up 3rd down and 3, so the Cowboys go to the shotgun. Renfro comes in motion back to the line. Danny White fires. He's got Renfro coming across. It's a 1st down for the Cowboys. Mike Renfro out of Texas Christian. Formerly a Houston Oiler, came in motion and cut back and lost the secondary. He was wide open.
So far, nothing fancy. As I said, just trying to get it to each one of the receivers. You saw Donnelly coming in motion, and what is created is a pick by the 2 receivers releasing upfield. Donnelly underneath the linebacker coverage. Just enough for a 1st down.
7 yards and a 1st down, so Dallas marches on. Opening sequence of downs for the Cowboys. 3 1st downs after taking the kickoff. First quarter at Texas Stadium. Don Trickey with Bob Trumpy. Danny White gives off, and Dorsett doesn't get a thing. Getting the block and making the hit was a very enthusiastic rookie from Syracuse, Blaze Witter, playing the right end. He was the 2nd-round draft choice of Indianapolis.
I think that little run right there down just to keep the Indianapolis Colts honest. I think their intent is just simply to throw the ball in this first series. Indianapolis runs very basic coverages. They are not a team that can come out with a complex defense as the flexors run by Dallas.
It's the 8th play of the opening drive for the Cowboys. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Dorsett, the lone setback. Look how far off the line he is. 8 yards drop back. He's got a long way to run if he gets it, but White's going to throw it. He's got a man. Tony Hill. Almost.
Don, he had 2 receivers wide open. Doug Crosby underneath that pattern. Came from the strong side of the formation. Hill, this is on Tate Randall. They're going right at the weakness of the Indianapolis Colt defense. They just simply are not all pro players back there. A lot of them are free agents. The Colts realize that. Obviously, so do the Dallas Cowboys.
But it goes as a long out, and so it brings up 3rd down and 10 for the Cowboys. Dallas with the ball at the 37-yard line of Indianapolis. White with a big rush gets it away. It's going to be dropped down at the 23-yard line as Danny White was pressured by Blaze Winter. Winter likes to play football.
Yes, he does. What the Colts will do is they don't bring in a 4th defensive lineman. They just rush Vernon Maxwell 56 and run games up front all over the place. Right of the screen. This is a very, very dangerous pass to throw. You don't throw the ball late down the middle like that. You could certainly put it in the hands of somebody in a blue jersey.
John Warren just called in to punt for the Cowboys. Danny White with a groin pull. He's unable to punt, so they got this free agent in. He was driving a grocery truck earlier this week out of Tennessee. Esby Glasgow is going to let the punt go into the end zone. It's not going to. The Cowboys are going to get it inside the 5-yard line.
It's a touchback.
How they ruled it got in. A lot of Cowboys were around there to slap it back, but apparently they didn't do it.
Little over-exuberance there. Everyone trying to make the play, and as the ball bounces around, as long as they can keep it out of the end zone, they're going to put the Indianapolis Colts in a big spot. We'll watch here. The ball takes a great bounce for the Dallas Cowboys, but it's kicked by Bates and it goes in the end zone.
And we'll be back. Colts will have the ball.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide.
Today, people are getting into better shapes than ever. Shapes that use the wind to help Mercury cars cling to the road. Shapes Mercury will be in for years because handling, comfort, and quality never go out of style.
In the middle of your picture is Carl Howard, number 21. Now watch it. He steps into the end zone. Then comes back out and touches the ball. Therefore, the touchback. You can't go in the end zone, come out, and down it.
Good point. So the Colts get the ball at their 20. First and 10 for Indianapolis. Their first possession in this scoreless game. The pitch back goes to super fast Randy McMillan, who cuts back across the 20 and out to the 22. Hagel at quarterback. Dickey and McMillan, two big backs with great speed. Raymond Butler's the best deep threat on the Indianapolis receiving corps. Dave Young, a big tight end from Purdue, playing much better after missing with two teams. Giants in Buffalo, and I think he even spent some time at New England. Offensive line hurting without Chris Hinton, a great young player from Northwestern, but it's come together to run the ball well. Again, the Colts go back to the run, this time to Curtis Dickey. Native Texan, played at Texas A&M, a world-class sprinter. Cowboys front line, all #1 draft choices. Too tall, John Dutton, the former Colt. Randy White, who's the best. Jim Jeffcoat. Linebackers, Heckman, Bruning, and Dickerson. Dickerson's a blitzer. Bruning a little bit injured in the middle. Walls and Fellows, two good corners. Bill Bates starts at strong safety with Clinksdale out with an injury. Michael Downs, Coach Landry says, has been the most consistent defender. Third down and 4, and Dallas goes to a number of defensive backs. Hagel going to have time, but does he have anybody? He can run well, but not on this play as the Cowboys close it down. They're working hard, Trump, to keep Randy White off the play. Look at all these Colts sitting on him.
They better work hard. You see Ut 64 behind him, Donaldson. How would you like to go out there every Sunday knowing that you're going to be double teamed on every play, and he still makes the tackle? They had to play this guy double. He works overtime. There ain't no doubt about that.
So now Ron Stark comes in to punt the ball for Indianapolis, standing back at his 14-yard line. There's the deep man for Dallas, Gary Allen. No score in the first quarter. 7:53 to play in it. Cowboys ready for their second possession. Think the whistle might have been too long getting the snap off.
Correct. You called it, Don.
Delay, 5 yards.
Jim Tunney, the referee. There's his crew. Working the game at Texas Stadium, the home of America's team. It's 78 and sunny. As you know, the playing field is not covered. The stands are. Kind of a semi-dome here at Irving, Texas.
Semi-dome, yes.
Ron Stark, the best punter in the National Football League with a 46-yard punt average. First team all-pro punter. He unloads a tremendous punt. Allen goes all the way back, backpedals to the 19-yard line. But then he gets room to go, and the Colts cover. 57-yard punt by Ron Stark. 9-yard return, and Dallas will try again as the Cowboys send out their offense for a second try, and we'll be back right after this.
There's a style in your life no one could ever deny. You're on your way, moving up. You were always the one who's eager to try. You're on your way to the top, and along the way, you've always known just who you are. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's meant below.
Where you're going, it's exceptionally smooth Michelob.
Where you're going, it's meant below. Where you work and play, you've got it going your way. You love to share the way you feel. Michelob. Where you're going, you've always known it. Where you're going, it's meant below. Where you're going, it's meant below.
I'm Jane Pauley. Tomorrow morning on Today, Valerie Bertinelli. Also, the New York Marathon winners and a hot young actor named Chris Collett. Join us tomorrow morning on Today.
the series that the Colts' last victory was in the biggest game of all. The Colts beat the Cowboys in Super Bowl V, 16-13.
That's a long time ago, wasn't it?
A long time ago, and a win they still remember, particularly in Baltimore. Both Super Bowl victory over Dallas. Now it is first down and 10. Indianapolis defense with those aggressive young linemen down looking to go. Danny White again throws the out, this time to Renfro, and again the Cowboys have a first down. Indianapolis playing run. Cowboys figuring out a punt returner, a fumble return by Dwayne Woodruff, 65 yards, counted for the Steeler touchdown. Green Bay has now gone in front of Detroit, 7-0.
Don, pretty obvious the Cowboys are going to pick on the backside of the zone coverage of the Indianapolis Colts, and they're going to keep doing it until they can get someone up to the line of scrimmage there. With the 8 or 9 yard cushion, White's going to keep throwing it out there.
Those corners are a mile off. The Dallas wide receivers. Danny White stands in, fires downfield, and the ball is caught beautifully. A tremendous play. It advances the ball down inside the 40-yard line. Tony Hill went high, right in the middle of two defenders, and it's a 23-yard gain for Dallas.
Boy, did they miss this guy in the first 5 games of the season. See Hill at the top of the screen. He's had now 17 catches, including the previous 2 weeks and today. This ball is not thrown particularly well, but Hill goes and gets it, as they say.
Not thrown bad, though, when they come down with it.
Well, when they're caught, yeah, they're thrown well. But receivers like to have that thing around the numbers. You know, don't stretch me out back there.
That was a big play by Tony Hill, and so the Cowboys are again across midfield. First down and 10, Dallas. Scoreless first quarter. Game wearing on. 6:45 to play in first quarter. Draw. Fumble. Free ball, and who's got it?
Indianapolis.
Yep. The ball does draw a crowd, and finally the Colts come up with a football, so that aggressive young defense, which gives up yards but also makes big plays, delivers, and Frank Kush now will send his offense back out. We'll watch again.
It appears to get stripped away by, who is it? Cooks, 98, gets his hand in there. And whoever invented the football to have points on the end was a genius. Watch that thing bounce.
Tony Dorsett's done that before this season, coughed up the ball.
Watch Maxwell here. See the trap. There's some hitting out there.
Now we go to live action. Pickle dodges the rush, but then goes down at the 38. Too tall Jones coming like a freight train. Bagel did well to stay in the game, ducking him.
Colts somewhat out of character there. Play action pass on first down, trying to take advantage of the flex defense, which is generally run on first down. They don't get a lot of pass rush out of that flex defense, but good thing he ducked.
Sacks have been a problem.
There's Randy White, double teamed again, and again, and again.
Out of live action, 2nd and 15. Indianapolis powers the ball right at the Dallas defense. Randy McMillan runs it. Coming in with a 4.5 per carry average, having a great year in the opinion of his coach, Kush.
One of the things we're going to feature today is Ben Utt, number 64, the Indianapolis Colts, against Randy White. Now, it's not that we want to pick on Ben Utt, but this is the first time he's faced Randy White, and from what I've gleaned from other coaches, one of the things that helps an offensive lineman against the master is to face him several times. Then you get used to his moves. First time, he can shock you.
Shock you all game long, even when you're used to it. Randy White, 54, comes on the rush. Pagel box to throw. On the run, he gets the ball away, but there's too much on it. Boozer going for the ball, and there might be a hold against the Colts in the backfield.
Now you can see the attention that Randy White is getting. Matt Boozer was the intended receiver. The Cowboys have allowed opposing quarterbacks to run for over 140 yards through 8 games of this season. But Randy White, that time, they ran the play-action fake right at him.
Offsetting penalties, holding 66, illegal contact, 24 defense. Play will go over, still 3rd down.
Once again, they're running the play action right at Randy White, so he gets help with the running back. There's the running back, the center, and the guard. 3 guys on 1. Somebody should come open from that defensive line to put pressure on Pagel here eventually. But you don't have any choice, Don. I mean, if you could nail his shoes to the ground, that would help, but you can't do that.
Future Hall of Famer Randy White getting triple teamed early in the game as we come to 3rd and 10 again. Offsetting penalties, and they'll
Dallas in what they call their 40 defense, which is 4 defensive linemen, 7 defensive backs, and Billy Bates, strong safety at about 190 pounds, stands in there like a middle linebacker and put pressure on Pagel. Just overthrown.
And again, Ron Stark on the field, hits it with that left foot. Last time, 57-yard punt. Gary Allen back deep again for the Cowboys. Low punt. It'll come back. Ooh, he fair caught the ball. Through the run. 43-yard punt, no return. So, Dallas gets the ball again. Thoroughbred Racing's $10 million day is coming to NBC Sports, the Breeders' Cup Championship Series. See, the Cowboys have moved the ball on their 2 previous possessions, but there's no points up for either team, and now Dallas has the ball back inside their 20 after another good punt and no return by Ron Stark. Danny White, who took over for Roger Staubach in 1980, starting for the first time this season for the Cowboys, and he hands off to Tony Dorsett, and Dorsett breaks it and gets out across the 25-yard line. Main objective of the Colt defense was not to let Dorsett get away. They had to stay in position for those cutbacks.
It's an offensive line that's been somewhat shuffled throughout this season, Don. Injuries everywhere. Good trap pull. Dallas is also one of those teams that historically has taken college defensive linemen, made them offensive linemen because defensive people are supposed to have a mean streak or maybe some brain cells missing, and makes them different and aggressive at the line of scrimmage.
Matsui scored the Bears touchdown from a couple of yards out. Extra point missed. Chicago leading 6-0. Second down and 2 now. Dorsett running hard and gets into open field with that remarkable ability to come low and accelerate and change direction. He's almost gone every time he gets it.
Tate Randall on the tackle. Now, the interesting thing, remember the last offensive play that the Dallas Cowboys had? Tony Dorsett fumbled the football. Tom Landry realizes the value of Tony Dorsett for his football team, so he comes right back the next time on the field, gives it to him twice in a row.
Dorsett comes in with a 3.9 yard per rush average. Danny White, who of course played for Frank Cush at Arizona State, directing the Cowboys offense. First and 10, Dallas looking to throw and putting it up, and Cosby is there to take it down. Takes some hellacious hits, but he comes away with the football on a first down for the Cowboys, a 20-yard gain.
Well, those 2 running plays set this up. This is a fine reception by Cosby. He's got to go up to get it. Well thrown, too, by Danny White, just over outstretched arms of Odom. That's an excellent hit. But so far, they've thrown it to both wide receivers, thrown it to the tight end twice, just kind of spreading it around here.
Nesby Glasgow, the free safety for Indianapolis, got the running start and the hard pop on Cosby, but he kept the ball, and now again, the Cowboys, as they've done on their earlier possessions, have crossed midfield again, but still there's no score with 3:12 to play in the first quarter. Dorsett, change in direction, not much there. He did well to get the line of scrimmage. Barry Krause, the big inside linebacker from Alabama, number 55, made the play. He's having a great year for the Colts.
Yeah, well played by Krause, too. You'll see he's down in the line of scrimmage, reads that trap, is inside it. 65 for the Dallas Cowboys is Kurt Peterson. He went right by Barry Krause. Krause there to make the tackle.
Big backer, almost 250 pounds, 6'3". The Eagles, winners of 3 straight games, move in front of the favored Cardinals 7-0 in the first quarter. Second and 12 for Dallas. The pitch back to Dorsett. Blockers are there, and he keeps on weaving through traffic. Comes inside the 45-yard line of Indianapolis and is out of bounds at about the 42. Free safety Glasgow again making the play for the Colts.
And what I think is an interesting point about the Dallas Cowboys, they do have a 5-3 record, but do you realize they've been outscored in every quarter by their opponents except the fourth quarter?
They're quick to point out, Trump, they've not put together 4 good quarters of football yet. They had one of the all-time fourth quarters last Sunday night.
Sure did.
Came from 21 points down in the fourth quarter to tie New Orleans, and then they beat the Saints in overtime. Packers playing some good football at Green Bay, leading Detroit 14-0 first quarter. Third down, a long 3 coming up for the Cowboys as Danny White's throw intended for one of his young tight ends, Fred Cornwell, a rookie from Southern California, a little high. brings up 4th down for Dallas, and John Warren comes back out. Cowboys move the ball from their own end, get across midfield, and then come up empty on the 3rd down throws. 2:22 to play in the first quarter. No score as John Warren drops back. Where'd they get him, Trump? Right off a cabbage truck?
Yeah, Gilbrandt said they called on Friday and said, where is Mr. Warren? Said, well, he's delivering produce around Knoxville, Tennessee. He said, get him to the phone. We need him in Dallas.
Right now, he hits a football in not very well. But it does take a Cowboy roll and comes inside the 15-yard line. It's covered there. Rohrer comes down. Jeff Rohrer, a linebacker from Yale. Walter Payton meets Marcus Allen next Sunday on NBC Sports. It'll be a day to be remembered.
A November to remember. L.A. An historic first showdown between Raiders sensation Marcus Allen and the incredible Walter Payton.
A November to remember. Chicago.
When these two great running backs start heating things up, the climate at the lakefront could be considerably warmer.
The Raiders battle the Bears. The NFL plays here.
Our team plays here.
It's nasty out there. Some day to run.
Soup looks good.
You still nervous about tomorrow?
Well, it is my first 10K run. I just hope I can do it.
Of course you can. You worked hard, ate right. Here, eat your Campbell's. It's good for you.
Campbell's Chicken Noodle Soup. It's nice when something that tastes so good can make you feel so good.
I'm surprised you weren't.
AFL remembered, and there were some great ones like Lance Allworth and Biletnikoff, Don Maynard of the Jets, great receivers all. They'll be featured at halftime on NFL 84. Right now, the Colts have the ball deep in their own end. First down, they go to run. McMillan gets a load of Randy White as he tries the right side of the Dallas defense. Jeff Coe was also on the play. McMillan is 4th here from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, look at that. Well, one of the only times that they put one man on Randy White, cannot. He's got to handle Randy White by himself. And this flex defense is interesting in that they really don't try to penetrate. All they try to do is stand up the offensive lineman and cut down the options of the running back.
They protect areas of the field. You see them from off the line in the flex. Quick out. Booza takes the throw from Mike Pagel, and Booza turns upfield on a 2nd down and 7 play. He's going to be just short of a first down. We remind you that this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited. 3rd now and less than a foot for the Colts as they go from the 22-yard line.
They now got 3 tight ends in the ball game.
2 power backs who can fly, and here comes one Curtis Dickey. He dives ahead, and the Cowboys make the defensive play. Stripping the blocking was Eugene Lockhart, number 56, the man they call Mean Eugene, the hitting machine.
Ron Fellows in there, too. Watch it from behind the offense. You see they're able to slide across the line of scrimmage because those defensive linemen just take up space. They're going to measure here, Don. I don't think they're even close to it.
But it looked like it.
They're still going to measure.
Big play by the Dallas defense on 3rd and inches. They stop the Colts, a team that runs the ball among the best in the NFL this season. And so Ron Stark comes back out looking to unload a punt to get the Colts out of trouble.
1:23 remaining in the first quarter. The Colts still looking for their first down.
No score. Clock running, 1:20 to play in the first quarter. Don Criqui with Bob Crumpy at Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas. Clear and sunny, 78 degrees, low humidity, perfect afternoon after 2 weeks of rain throughout Texas. The Colts in the blue uniforms have given up yardage, but no points so far to the Cowboys as Stark, who's hit 2 good punts, gets off another one. Long and downfield, Gary Allen is pedaling back to his 26. Looking for a channel, not much there. Lots of blue shirts sweeping him down. 53-yard punt and return of just 5 yards. So again, the work of all-pro punter Ron Stark gets the Colts out of their own end. The Cowboys have it back.
Sometimes it takes high pressure to get a job done.
Hey!
Sorry, Sherry. But in your body, high blood pressure can make your hard work harder. That can not only damage your heart, but other body organs as well. High blood pressure is the major risk factor of stroke, and it can contribute to heart attack. Generally, we do not know what causes it or how to cure it. However, thanks to research like that sponsored by the American Heart Association, we've learned high blood pressure can be controlled through diet, exercise, and if needed, medication. Since there are usually no symptoms, it's important that you do your part. Have your blood pressure checked at least once a year. It's the only way to know if your blood pressure is high.
Why don't you have your blood pressure checked then?
Sure, I need more water.
Sorry.
The American Heart Association has information for you about high blood pressure. We're fighting for your life.
The preceding announcement was furnished as a public service by the National Football League. As you can see, Cowboys don't lose many in their home arena, Texas Stadium. They have the ball again, starting out now from their 32-yard line. Danny White shifts his lone backdoor set, swings him out. White fires, and again, Tony Hill, going against a corner, playing 10 yards off him, comes to a spot, stops and catches a 12-yarder.
Been there every time, Don.
Preston Davis, the free agent corner from Baylor, a rookie, knows what he's up against. He doesn't want it to go the distance.
Well, I think it's the design of the defense, although you want someone to recover from that drop a little quicker. He should have some underneath help there from an outside linebacker so that Danny White doesn't have a straight line to throw right to Tony Hill.
Hill and White Lightning Donnelly. Doug Donnelly from Ohio State. Both are deployed to the right side. Two tight ends in the game. Dorsett comes right up the middle. Free ball again. And the Colts say they've got it, and so does the referee. So the Dallas Cowboys cough it up twice in the first quarter, and the Colts capitalize both times, as with no time now remaining, first quarter coming to an end, the ball goes back to Indianapolis.
He jukes around a great deal here, but he does appear to have the ball firmly in place, and then it's stripped away. Geez, I couldn't pick up the number. We'll try to get it, though. Looks like Cliff Odom may have gotten his hand on it. Maxwell may have made the recovery.
Coach Cush, his team finding a way on defense with big plays. Dorsett's been running well, but the Colt defense been pounding him, and twice he's coughed it up, and twice Indianapolis has scooped up the ball, and now the Colts have their best field position of this game. First and 10, Pagel takes a drop and hits his man. Booza, turning upfield, goes inside the Dallas 40 and out of bounds at the 36-yard line. A gain of 15 yards on the play and a first down. First big gainer for the Colts today. Ron Fellows was beaten on the play.
Stumbled a little bit, Fellows did. Trying to recover, get back to Booza.
The Colts do not grade very high in offense or defense, but Indianapolis does have one very valuable asset. They're the best rushing club in the American Conference. Their biggest gain, though, coming on that throw, 15 yards, and now they're down to the 38-yard line of Dallas in a scoreless game, second quarter. Pagel with those great backs set in the eye. Second one through is Curtis Dickey, and he's down to the 35-yard line. Now, while we have a moment, we switch to NFL 84 in New York.
All right, Don, southeast of you down in Houston, the Oilers have scored. Herky Walls out of Texas had caught only 2 passes this year, but he is a splendid open field runner. And on this pass from Warren Moon, breaks one, setting up a 1-yard touchdown run by Larry Moriarty, something that hasn't happened very often. The Oilers lead it.
Thank you, Bill. No, it has not happened very often. Those Oilers needing all they can get in what is so far a winless season. They go into today's game 0-8. Second down now and 8 as give is up the middle. Cowboys come a thumping. John Dutton led the charge along with Mike Hegman, an outside linebacker.
Colts on that pass play we just saw, that was their first down. You see those guys just stand the offensive lineman up. Dutton, too tall, Jones 72. All they do is try to take the middle of the offensive lineman, stand him up. So basically there are no options available for the running back.
Tad Leahy hit a 46-yard field goal to put the Jets in front of New England. Green Bay now leading Detroit 14-3 after the Lion field goal. Here at Texas Stadium, it is 0-0 second quarter. Dallas with 7 defensive backs. Third down and 6 coming up for Indianapolis. Pagel takes a deep drop. He fires and has a man, but he's behind Booza, and so it's incomplete and brings up fourth down.
Now, remember what Frank Bush was telling us last evening? So the only problem with Mike Pagel is he's just not an accurate passer. He'll throw it a little bit behind or a little bit ahead.
That
can get the ball off. Oh, yeah. In that particular instance, had Pagel thrown the ball right on the money, Booza picks up the first down. That happens. You're rushed back there. You got pressured.
An inaccurate quarterback can diffuse an offense in a hurry, but Pagel, now there's some consternation on the sidelines as to what they're going to do on fourth down. They
let the clock expire for the first period. Kick it the other way.
We'll be back to Texas Stadium where the wave is sweeping this arena.
America's driving over. America's driving to Firestone.
Firestone's Drive Over Sale. Save up to 30% on tires, MasterCare service, batteries. Save on every size 721 steel-belted radio from only $29.95. Plus, save on MasterCare awarded service, tune-ups, shocks, batteries, and more. Firestone's Drive Over Sale at Firestone now.
Firestone.
Watch closely. You're about to learn how to prepare a very practical Ford Escort Turbo GT to accelerate like a very fast performance car. The new Ford Escort Turbo GT. Further modifications are not required. Have you driven the best-built American cars? Have you driven a Ford lately?
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. By light beer from Miller. Everything you've always wanted in a beer and less. And by your Firestone retailers coast to coast. Come on, America, drive over to Firestone.
Back to live action now. The Colts lining up for a 51-yard field goal by Raul Alegre. There's a snap and a big problem for Ron Stark. Downfield it goes and is intercepted by the Cowboys. Bill Bates has the ball, and he fights his way across the 35-yard line. So an errant snap, and they never get the field goal try away, and Ron Stark, a good runner, got away from the rush, but his throw was intercepted.
That's a good snap. Stark should hang on to that. Alegre got nailed. Bates makes the interception. Michael Downs and Ron Fellows in all over him there. Well, that's a turnover you certainly don't want to happen in that situation.
Actually, the spot front for the line of scrimmage here is just about where it was had they missed the field goal. And Alegre can hit it from that far. He's been troubled by injuries this year after having a phenomenal season a year ago. 30 of 35 for the Colts at Baltimore. 86%. He was as good as there was in the NFL. First down and 10 now. Cowboys on offense, Indianapolis on defense, which has been the story much of the game, but there's no scores. Ron Springs turns the corner, and Vernon Maxwell, with all his speed at the outside linebacker position, catches him and throws him down. Game clock winds down to 13 minutes to play in the first half.
So far, Colts have done an outstanding job of stringing out this running game of the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys able to pass it. Had very little luck running it.
Bears have scored another touchdown. Jim McMahon throwing to Dennis McKinnon for the score. Bears the leaders in the bare knuckle division, the NFC Central. Cowboys come into this game in a three-way tie in the NFC East with the Redskins and the Cardinals all at 5-3 and the Giants and the Eagles just a game behind a tightly bunched division. Danny White throws in a great play again. Tony Hill sacrificing his body for the love of the game. Makes the hits and keeps the ball. A 17-yard gain for Dallas.
White has shown great finesse here throwing the football. You see Hill at the top. It's inside-outside coverage. Now watch White throw it right over the linebacker, Kraus 55. Once again, stretched out to catch the football.
Takes a big heart to stretch out and go into the defense, the teeth of it.
Yeah, great hospitalization insurance, too.
But he bounced right back and going to stay in the game. So now Danny White has thrown the ball 13 times, and he's completed 10 for 123 yards.
But no points.
No points. Nothing. Second quarter, first and 10 Dallas. 49-yard line of the Cowboys. It'll be 2nd down and 6, and now we go to NFL 84 in New York.
All right, Don, in Foxborough, the Jets lead New England 10-0. On the previous play, Freeman McNeil had been stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but Joe Walton came right back to call number 24. He goes 53 yards to set up a touchdown pass by Ken O'Brien, who had replaced Pat Ryan. It's 10-0.
Raymond Berry's debut, an ex-Colt great, a Hall of Famer, as the coach of New England. That last play came back, incidentally. There was a holding call signaled against the Cowboys. There's the referee, Jim Tunney. So the Cowboys will fall back inside their 45-yard line.
Holding 85 during the run, still first down.
Fred Cornwell, the rookie tight end, is called for the hold, and so the play comes back now to the 42-yard line. First down and 20 coming up.
Now knows that 10-yard hitches that the Cowboys are running are still there with the 10-yard cushion by the Indianapolis Colts defensive backs. I'm surprised they don't come back to that.
Cardinals get on the board. Team that is really developing into a contender. 7-7. Cardinals and the Eagles at Philadelphia. Now on first and long yardage, Danny White sets 2 wide receivers left, brings one in motion in Donnelly. One man is wide to the right. Fire up the middle, and he gets Ron Springs coming out of the backfield. 30th reception of this season for Ron Springs, a former Buckeye from Ohio State. Barry Krause stuck him along with Johnny Cooks. The ball is back to the original line of scrimmage, so it's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Dallas. Tom Landry said sometimes, Trump, you have to be a long way down to come all the way back, and I think we were a long way down and made that comeback. He was looking for his team possibly to explode today as he talks with his offensive man, Jim Schaffner, on the sidelines. So far, the Cowboys have moved the ball until they get down to the Indianapolis end, then they come up short. Now, Dorsett breaks it, gets inside the 40. He's ahead for 12 yards and a first down for the Cowboys.
They have so many weapons, this Dallas Cowboy offense. They can just pick and choose where they want to go. Watch, you should see the trap block. And watch Dorsett, he kind of waits for a minute, sees who's going to be where, and then squirts up through there. And that acceleration, that first step, once he decides where he's going to go, that separates a lot of running backs. And it puts Dorsett at the head of the class.
He's busted some good ones here today, but he is also, as you're very well aware if you've been with us from the outset, fumbled the ball to the Colts twice in the game, stopping Dallas drives. Getting the yards, but he's taken some hard hits and giving it back. First and 10, Dallas. Danny White with a deep drop. Going long for the end zone. Touchdown. Tony Hill is in there for a Cowboy score.
No flag.
38 yards and a Dallas touchdown. He came back, Trump, the offense came back.
You're right. And what this has been set up by are those short patterns run by the receivers. You see Hill just splits the free safety and the cornerback. And in a foot race, the Indianapolis Colts defensive backs are not great speed people. Tony Hill is. Well thrown, too, by Danny White. He's thrown the ball with great finesse today, right on the money.
He really has. Danny White having a big day, and finally the Cowboys crack the end zone. First touchdown reception of the year for Tony Hill, 38 yards out. Rafael Septien, an automatic man on the extra points, drills it up and through, and so it's 9:53 to play in the first half. The Dallas Cowboys finally strike, going into the end zone from way out on the throw. The touchdown, Tony Hill.
I tell you, playing polo is a lot tougher than it looks.
Sure is.
And even though the horses do the running, you still can work up a thirst.
So after a chuck or two, we equestrians drink light beer from Miller.
Yeah, light tastes great, and it's got a third less calories than a regular beer.
And it's less filling.
And that's important, because tomorrow we're going to try our hand at water polo.
Yeah, I sure hope those horses can swim.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
The minute you see the Mazda 626 sports sedan, you know you're looking at a very refined road car. And when you look closer, you discover a comfortable driver's seat that adjusts 6 ways, unexpectedly complete instrumentation, and you feel a smooth shifting 5-speed. At $84.95, you also know you're looking at an impressive value. But Once you get behind the wheel, the looking all stops and the fun begins. Mazda 626 Sports Sedan. Experience it.
The Challenger. Jose Luis Ramirez, a 25-year-old southpaw with an incredible 70 KOs. The Defender. Edwin Rosario, feared in the ring, loved by his countrymen. The WBC Lightweight Championship, a November to remember on NBC Sports World.
You talk about a comeback, Bob Trumpy. This guy's had a comeback. Missed 5 games, and now look what he's done. 9, 7, and 6 already today. The offensive plan for the Cowboys has been number 11 to number 80. The last one, Danny White to Tony Hill for 38 yards in the first score of the game.
Those 6 catches today already produced 108 yards for Tony Hill, too.
See the distance of the drive. Now we have 9:53 to play in the first half. Colts have had some open receivers, too. They'll probably be throwing it more against the Dallas defense. Kickoff downfield. Fences has problems holding on to the ball. There's a penalty marker down, so the Colts are going to get the football, but they're going to be backed up into their own end. Not where you want to be against Danny White and company, or against Randy White and company, as the defense for the Cowboys comes out.
Don, in case the fans out there are wondering, yes, we couldn't have a return without an illegal block in the back. In case the fans are wondering, that 108 yards by Tony Hill, how close is he to the record? He's a long way off. Bob Hayes holds the Cowboys record, 246 yards receiving in one game.
Tony Dorsett helped set up that throw.
On the run back, number 90, half the distance of the goal line. First down.
Cincinnati and Houston are now tied 7-7. Kinnebrew just ran for a touchdown for the Bengals. And New Orleans on a Richard Todd Hokie Gajan throw. Orleans leading the Browns 7-0. NFL 84 at halftime will have the stories in the big plays. Right now, the Colts go to the run on first down, and Curtis Dickey comes out and rockets out to the 15-yard line. He doesn't have the cut moves that Tony Dorsett has, but he gets an open lane, just a little bit of room. There's nobody out there that can touch him.
We got a change in the defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Eugene, the hitting machine, Lockhart, taking the place of Bob Brunick. Brunick's got a bad back. First time they've run to the right of their offense there, the Indianapolis Colts.
Hitting machine missed the tackle there, though, and getting ahead for an 8-yard gain, Curtis Dickey. Dickey again looking to the outside. Cowboys do a good job handing him in. The strong safety, Bill Bates, coming up and forcing the run in and then making the play.
Yeah, this is such a difficult defense to run against because they really don't try for penetration. They just try to stand those people up, hold their ground at the line of scrimmage, and look at the people there to make the tackle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Dallas Cowboys around Curtis Dickey.
Hegman 58 and Lockhart 56 all go out, is now on third down and about 3. The Cowboys go to their pass defense with extra DBs coming in the game, and the Colts deploy 3 wide receivers. Stop ready from the shotgun. Cowboys showing blitz. See if it comes. Now they back off.
Oh! He got it.
He did. Mike Pagel called his own number and caught the Cowboys looking for the throw, and he gets ahead to the 20-yard line. It's a first down for Indianapolis.
How about that for a call? Now, the defense they run is called a 40 defense, and you see those defensive backs there. They're dropping out in coverage. Well, Pagel, obviously, they thought about this during the week, and it bounced right that time for Pagel. An easy first down, just the way they draw it up.
Fumbled his way to a first down. The way they like to do it, but the end result got them 4 new downs. So now the Colts trailing 7-0 in the second quarter. Go from their 20, first and 10. Fake to Dickey. Here's the throw. Almost intercepted. They were going deep to the tight end, Dave Young.
You may notice on Dave Young's hand, he has a splint. He has 2 metal rods in the ring finger of his right hand. He split that thing, fractured it on Thursday, and is playing today. You got to admire his guts. Ball underthrown by Pagel.
Brings up second down and 10 with 7:39 to play in the first half. Cowboys lead the game. They scored not that long ago on a 38-yard touchdown throw from Danny White to Tony Hill. Cowboys with tremendous advantage in total yards and time of possession, but were unable to crack the end zone until a short time ago. And now Pagel, pump faking, shuffles it off, free ball, and the Cowboys look like they might have it. it's incomplete.
No, it hit the ground.
Randy White tipped it, had a piece of it, but didn't hold down before it hit the ground, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
That was just a simple hitch pattern by the Indianapolis Colt wide receivers. Pagel looked this side, and the defense rotated this way, so he had to go to the other side. He's just trying to get it down the line of scrimmage. Randy White actually came off in coverage on that particular instance. Used to play linebacker for this defense.
Colts have a problem, as you note, from coming from behind.
Yes.
Their pass offense grades out near the bottom. They didn't want that to happen. Now they're down 7-0 with 3rd and a throwing down coming, 3rd and 10.
That's on Indianapolis.
Cowboys sure give you a lot to think about on offense and defense, constantly shifting formations, looking to confuse, to catch the quarterback guessing.
5 yards.
That time, Jim Mills, the right tackle, a former Cowboy, was called for the 5-yard penalty, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 15.
Interesting, Mills is 6'9" and weighs a bunch, going against Too Tall Jones, who is 6'9", weighs a bunch. Two big people standing in there.
It's like the NBA. We got another 6'9"er in there, and Paz Derek, the offensive tackle for Dallas.
This is tough now for Indianapolis. You're playing into Dallas's hands now. 3rd down and about 15 yards. 4-man rush. They may blitz. They may do anything from here, Don.
They'll probably be blitzing. They go to the draw. Do the Colts, and Curtis Randy McMillan breaks it across the 20 and gets out to the 23-yard line. Everson Walls knocked him down.
Good idea. Almost broke loose in there when you've got 7 defensive backs. You hope you can get a mismatch, a 270-pound offensive lineman on a 180-pound defensive back, but these guys for the Dallas Cowboys are very active, very, very active. And they got Dennis Thurman and Bill Bates at the line of scrimmage playing like linebackers, and they're excellent tacklers.
The most important player so far on the field today for Indianapolis has been the punter, Ron Stark, who's really drilled the ball 3 times and is ready to try again. He'll hit the ball from somewhere around his 12. Gary Allen is back deep for Dallas, standing at his 31. 6:44 to play in the first half. Clock running high. Whoa. Spiral way downfield. This guy is phenomenal. Punter down to the 22, and here comes Allen looking to turn upfield. Colts grab him and sweep him under at the 25. 54-yard punt by Ron Stark. He likes it here in Big D. But the Cowboys have the ball back when we return.
I just got a sporty truck priced like some base trucks. The Mazda B2000 SE5. Look, it comes standard with a 5-speed, radials and spoker wheels, sporty stripes, step bumper, and dual sport mirrors. Pretty sporty for just $59.95.
Mazda SE5.
Us syncopators of progressive ribs have a unique style of jawing.
Howard says jazz musicians talk funny.
And after a gig, I finger pop with a light beer from Miller.
After playing, Howard enjoys a light beer.
Light is super cool and a breeze on the calories you dig.
Light is less filling, with a third less calories than their regular beer. And the taste, Howard?
Oh, man, it's Obop Shaban's lay down, break down birdie on the hot side of town.
He likes it.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer. And less.
An NBC movie premiere. Heather Locklear faces a madman who would kill thousands to possess her. Simon & Simon's Gerald McRaney must protect her from the city killer tonight.
Cowboys finally got the big play. Their last possession, they've taken a 7-0 lead. Colts having a problem moving the ball.
Yeah, you're right. This is exactly what Frank Bush told us last night, Don. He did not want his team to get in this situation where they got to catch up with the Dallas Cowboys. This is not a catch-up football team. They got to control the ball, keep the ball out of the hands of their opponent's offense. So far, they haven't done it.
Danny White on first down throws, and again he has Tony Hill with 7 catches already. 1 for 6 points, the only score of the game. Hill's ahead for only about 3 yards. The Jets now leading 10-3 as New England got a field goal in the second quarter at Foxborough. Kansas City out in front of Tampa Bay 7-0. Ken Lacey a 2-yard touchdown run for the Chiefs in that one. Houston now trailing Cincinnati 14-7. Kennebrew with 2 touchdown runs for the Bengals. personal record is 9 catches and 213 yards. He's well short of the yardage, but not in the number of catches. He has 7 as Ron Springs runs the ball on 2nd down and 6. Dallas going into the left side of the Indianapolis defense, gets out to the 34-yard line.
So far, Don, the Cowboy offense has been able to do just about anything it's wanted to do with 5:30 left in the first half. Take away those 2 turnovers, and it's been a Cowboy-dominated first half. It is already, but even more so.
Those receivers, as you know, Trump, love to go back to the huddle and talk about what they got.
Yeah, you're right.
Tony Hill's got something every time down.
And to my knowledge, the Colts haven't changed the coverage either. It's still there.
3rd down and less than 2. They go to the run. Ron Springs runs the ball, but he's going to be short of a first down. Talking about receivers, talking about what they have. Remember, we're going to see some of the great AFL receivers remembered. We'll talk about that after we watch Barry Krause make a stick.
These linebackers for the Colts have done an excellent job this entire season. Krause there to make the tackle. A little trap play by the tight end didn't work.
Don Maynard, who you'll see featured in that halftime, once came back to the huddle, and Joe Namath asked him what he had. He said, anything you got all day.
That's true.
About 600 balls.
Yes, he did. He must have gotten open a bunch. And some good ones back in the old AFL. Bambi, Otis Taylor.
Here's a punt now by the Cowboys. John Warren hits a good one downfield, forcing Nesby Glasgow into a fair catch. Not an easy one into the sun at the 29-yard line. 36 yards and no return. So the Colts stop the Cowboys that time, and Indianapolis has the ball. We'll be back to Texas Stadium right after this.
When you first see the Mazda RX-7, you begin to understand why it has become a legend among today's sports cars. Because beyond its classic styling, you soon discover the sheer perfection of its bucket seats. You experience its comprehensive instrumentation and feel the preciseness of its 5-speed. These things alone help make it an exceptional value. But to gain an even deeper understanding of the RX-7, you're going to have to experience roads like these for yourself. Mazda RX-7. Experience it.
Welcome to Miller Time.
Miller Time begins here, where Miller High Life waits for the finest ingredients to reach their golden best. Then we go beyond ingredients and use the finest brewing skills, making sure Miller High Life contains no additives and no preservatives. So come your Miller Time, you get nothing but the fresh, smooth taste of just pure beer. Welcome to Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller Time.
America's favorite pastime is on NBC as the nation's top rollers battle for the title of Bowler of the Year. Something different, something special. A November to remember is waiting for you on the PBA Fall Tour next Saturday on NBC.
With Bob Trumpy, this is Don Crickey back at Texas Stadium. You see how the Cowboys stand through 8 games so far. Not producing the points like they did a year ago when they jumped off to that first half advantage in the NFC East. They know how to win, do the Cowboys, and now Pagel screens one out. It's caught by Randy McMillan. Blockers in front, and McMillan twists and fights his way ahead for about 8 yards. As we pause briefly for station identification, this is the NBC television network.
KPRC-TV, Channel 2, Houston.
Trump to get the play away as with 4 minutes left to play in the first half. Dallas continues to lead this game 7-0 on the touchdown throw from Danny White to Tony Hill in the second quarter.
Don, I like that call. I like that call a lot. I think they could use that screen a great deal more before this day is out.
Got to offset those down linemen coming on the run. All those number ones teeing off and flying at the snap of the ball as Curtis Dickey takes it on 2nd and 2. And again, Dallas looking for the short yardage run, stuffs it. Randy White fought off the block and again delivered a head-on hit. A man who's been to the Pro Bowl 6 straight years.
To this point in the season, this Dallas Cowboy defense has been ranked dead last in the NFL rushing defense, allowing their opponents 4.7 yards per rush. In this half, they've certainly turned that around, haven't they?
They have. Randy White was a key guy last Sunday night, forcing that fumble on the snake. He might have sent Kenny Stabler into retirement with that hit.
Did send Kenny Stabler into retirement on that hit.
3rd down thought you'll remember earlier on the same play at the other end. This time we have McMillan fighting and lunging across the 40, and he has a first down for Indianapolis.
Andy White was there to make the tackle again. Watch right to the left of it. There you see 54. Man, see, how do you stop that guy? I mean, if you hit him, he knocks you down. If you try to trap him, he's not there. I'm glad I'm up here. I want no part of that.
Paul McDonald just threw 5 yards to Ozzie Newsome as Cleveland has tied New Orleans 7-all. St. Louis leading Philadelphia 17-14. Lomax just threw to Howard to Pat Kelly, and now we have Pagel fighting for his life. Penalty markers down. Dickey running ahead, but it's all going to come back. It looks like we're going to have a hold signaled against Indianapolis. Cowboy defensive lineman right now an overmatch for the offensive blockers of the Colts, at least on the passing downs.
Anthony Dickerson, 51, tripping by the Colt offensive line. Anthony Dickerson on the blitz to the outside was the first one to flush Pagel. And you can see he's a resourceful quarterback. Watch this pressure that Pagel has. From the right, you'll see Dickerson on the ground. That's Too Tall Jones in there, too. And that's just about everybody. It's also Eugene, the hitting machine, Lockhart. But it's called back.
So the ball is placed at the 31-yard line of Indianapolis. First down and 20 comes up for the Colts. They come into the game with a 3-5 record. Lost a tough one to St. Louis. Could very easily have made the turn at 4-4. Their biggest win in a long time came last Sunday, and now as McMillan is hit at the line of scrimmage, he spins off on 1st and 20 and gets back out to the 35. Lockhart and Hegman, two Cowboy linebackers, knocked him down.
Now you see this Colt offense is based on play-action passing. What play-action passing does, if your running game is successful, keeps those linebackers at the line of scrimmage, you got receivers open. With the Colts' inability to this point to run, the linebackers are back there in coverage, you got nobody to throw it to.
2 minutes left to go in the first half. Timeout is called on the field. We take a pause for this word.
Welcome!
They said he couldn't retrieve his own shadow, but you didn't give up on him. Now comes your time.
To Miller time!
And Miller time means it's time for the best beer you can find. Miller High Life.
Bring your thirsty self right here, the rich, smooth taste of Miller beer is what you have in mind.
Welcome to Miller High Life.
Welcome to Miller time.
We looked at a lot of sport trucks, but we bought the lowest price one in America, Mazda's new B2000 Sport LE. And while it's nice to know it comes standard with sporty two-tone paint, radials with spoker wheels, chrome bumpers, bucket seats, and a 5-speed, it's even nicer to know it's priced over $1,300 less than Nissan's or Toyota sport trucks.
Sakes alive. Sakes alive. Only Mazda's got a sport truck for just $67.95. Sakes alive.
Cowboys have dominated up and down the field with that big advantage in yards, 3-1 over Indianapolis, but only a 7-0 lead for the Cowboys.
Yeah, the Colts have gotten very little, but as long as they can stay in the ball game,
that's it.
They got a chance to win on some fluke play, a tipped pass.
Well, that's what they did last week, but as Chuck Noll, the coach of the Steelers, said, Trump, he said that wasn't lucky. He said the way they were playing hard and harder as the game wore on, something big is going to happen. And that's what Coach preaches. Keep playing hard and concentrating. It's going to go your way.
They hope.
Lots of folks standing by in New York. Bob and Ahmad, Bill and Axe with NFL 84 as we make the turn today in the second half of the season. Here's a throw downfield, and did he catch the ball?
No.
The officials say no. Ray Butler moved in on the ball. Pagel is a very good athlete, also out of Arizona State, recruited there by Frank Bush. Not as accurate as Trump was mentioning earlier as the backup quarterback who actually started last weekend, Mark Herman. Frank Bush says that without having a whole lot of explosion, Pagel does give you a lot of big plays sometimes when the pass blocking breaks down with his ability to run.
Don, I wonder if there will be a choice made by Frank Bush, maybe the second half, bring Herman in, throw the ball a little better. Although the character of this team is to keep running it. We got to stay with that theme.
Third down and 18. Here comes Pagel throwing on the run, and that ball was sheer drop. Dickey had a play to go the distance. And the penalty marker is also down in the Dallas secondary.
You know, one thing I can tell you about this Pagel kid, Don, is that he has a great presence out there and can really see the football field. You see a lot of quarterbacks. Well, it's going to be against Dallas. The Colts are going to keep possession, but it's very difficult for a quarterback scrambling around to see an open receiver down there. Pagel does that very, very well. He just instantly recognizes a teammate tries to get it down the field.
Pagel has continually improved, as have all the Colt quarterbacks. Under one of the best teachers there is, Zeke Bratkowski.
Played for an awful lot of years behind Bart Starr. But this is an offense in its infancy. What they do best is run it. What they've got to do best to succeed is run it.
Boy, they got a couple of hosses there that can run it, though. Dickey and McMillan.
Here we go.
McMillan gets it on first down and takes it from the 39-yard line out close to the 45. Time a factor now, 1:40 and running in the second quarter. Colts into alignment without a huddle on second down and 5. Pagel stands in, pump faking, gets it away and throws it right to the defensive back in position. Vince Albritton almost had a play to go the distance the other way.
There was nobody there in a Colt uniform to catch the ball either. He threw that 4 yards behind Booza, I believe. Watch this. There's nobody even there. There's the closest receiver, and he's 5 yards away.
Good second look at it. Our producer today for NBC Sports is George Finkel. Our director, Richard Klein, as we now have 1 minute and 29 seconds to play in the first half. Pagel directing the offense. Came in the third quarter last week. Said he heard the cheers, but he's wondering if it's the same people who've been booing him that were cheering him. But he could do without both.
Blitz.
There's a throw, and turned back at the ball, and it's not quite there. Booza running a deep pattern and stops the clock. The incomplete pass with 1:25 to play, and the Cowboys will get it back.
And one of the things that a receiver needs to do is recognize what's going on around him. In that particular instance, Pagel correctly read the blitz. Booza didn't see it, and that ball was on the ground before Booza even turned around.
Colts have been on the ropes in this game, but they're tough to KO. They're still very much in it, trailing just 7-0, even though the Cowboys have outdistanced them in total yardage 3-1. There's Gary Allen back deep for Dallas, standing at his 10-yard line. Starks liable to kick it through that hole in the roof. Bills went down to the 15-yard line, and the special teams play is very aggressive and has been good for Indianapolis as the ball's down at the 25-yard line. They had a 40-yard punt as Stark tried to keep it from going in the end zone. They'll be back.
It's a big step, Tom.
I'm still going to go to college, Dad, but after the Army.
I thought you wanted to be an electrical engineer.
I'll be learning about electronics, and I can qualify for the Army College Fund.
If you qualify, the Army College Fund will help you accumulate as much as $20,100 for tuition.
So you're going to be a soldier.
Be all that you can be. And an engineer. You can do it.
Be a good one.
In the Army.
Welcome to Miller Time.
At Miller High Life, time is everything. Beer drinkers come to us because we've been brewing in extra quality for the last 129 years. That's a lot of our time. But it's the reason you spend your time with us when you want the best beer you can find. Miller High Life.
1:16, that's all the ticks that are left. Second quarter, Cowboys with the ball, leading the Colts 7-0. Don Criqui with Bob Trumpy. As the Dallas Cowboys with a 5-3 record, they were 4-3 until that come from behind win last Sunday night, and it had been 10 years since Dallas had lost 3 of its first 7 games. That's how good this team is. 18 straight years of winning seasons under Coach Landry, an NFL record. Danny White, who's been the incumbent the last 4 years at quarterback, gave way to Gary Hogaboom at the outset of the season. Danny White making his first start and an impressive one today. Another completion as he goes to Dorsett. Heading upfield, and Dorsett gets out to the 36-yard line, but he's inbounds. The clock continues to run, an 11-yard gain. 1 minute to play.
Tony arguing with the official that he did, in fact, get out of bounds.
Dallas with 50 seconds to play, and the clock running, goes into the shotgun. White fires, and coming back to the ball is Mike Renfro. football genes are impressive in that young man. His dad, Ray Renfro, a Pro Bowl player with the Cleveland Brown championship teams of the 50s.
16 yards on the catch. One thing I liked about Danny White, he just kind of shrugged off that pressure he got from the outside. Just nothing to it. Just stand there and throw it. Here's one for you. On first downs, Danny White is 9 for 9, 132 yards and a touchdown today.
We'll accept that. He won't lose the job over that.
I don't think so.
Danny White had an interesting observation, though, Trump, about changing quarterbacks. He said, really, it's a Band-Aid more than a cure-all. You really have to establish something with one guy and keep going with it.
Well, Tom Landry, though, disagrees. I mean, throughout his coaching career here, I think the first argument or situation was, should it be Eddie LeBaron or Don Meredith? And then after that, should it be Don Meredith or Craig Morton? Then after that, should it be Craig Morton or Roger Staubach? And then after that, Staubach and White, now White and Hogeboom. It seems to be the ongoing soap opera here in Dallas.
I picked Staubach.
Good for you. You're very smart.
He wasn't bad. Cowboys have been to the Super Bowl more than any team in the National Football League. They've been there 5 times. They've won it twice. Haven't won it since they beat Denver after the '77 season. First and 10 now with 43 seconds left to play. Screen pass goes to Newsom. Look at Vernon Maxwell run him down.
Great play.
The super fast outside linebacker for Indianapolis runs him down, and now the clock is stopped with 31 seconds to play.
He not only made the tackle, but he also kept him in bounds, which in the last 2 minutes, and in this case the last 35 seconds, is exactly what you want to do. This is well set up. This screen is. Look at Maxwell behind there. Boy, that's a great job keeping him in bounds. Makes Dallas use another timeout.
I don't know about that, but that win last week might have been a start on it. Moving on to another Super Bowl. The light caused a bit of a problem here. You see the shadows that come in and out of sunlight because of the hole in the roof.
There you see it. You mentioned on a roll to Super Bowl. Now, there are a lot of teams in the NFL that are just happy to play in the NFL. This franchise, from top to bottom, is set up to win Super Bowls. One of the few there is in the NFL that wants to win Super Bowls. And how many teams could you find today, Don, that would be happy to be 5-3? And Dallas is not happy. Neither are these people in the stands. They want better than 5-3, and they want to go to Palo Alto.
Well, the franchise has had nothing but success under Coach Landry with his assistant head coach, Jim Myers. Landry, the only coach the Cowboys have ever had, and it didn't start out as a winning enterprise. Losing seasons the first 5 years. The 6th year they broke 500, and then Shazam. Best in the business. Second down and 4 as Danny White looking long, firing. He's got Crosby as tight end, and he's down to the 22-yard line. So the Cowboys will have a good field goal position, but they've still got time with 24 seconds on the clock. 19-yard gain on the play.
Colts came with 5 defensive backs. Kind of a prevent situation. Crosby just underneath the zone coverage and on top of the linebackers, because you know they can run that screen pass out there, so those linebackers got to respect that. Stay close to the line of scrimmage. That creates the area out there for Crosby to work in.
So the Cowboys take a timeout. Tom Landry came to the Dallas franchise after an assistant coaching career with the Giants, where he was an all-pro player. Interesting story that Kyle Rote tells, the former SMU great. He said, our offensive coach with the Giants was Vince Lombardi. Our defensive coach was Landry. He said he was going down the sideline, down the hall of the dormitory one night in summer training. Lombardi was in with some of his offensive players looking at film, went a little farther, and Landry was in with some of his defensive players going over a chalkboard. A few doors down was the head coach, Jim Lee Howell. He was reading a newspaper. Knew he had it covered. There's the coach of Danny White at Arizona State, Frank Kush. Got a winner written all over his record, 76% plus wins at Arizona State in 22 years. Went to Canada, had an 11-4-1 team there. First year at Hamilton. Now in his 3rd year with the Colts, and here's a throw to the end zone, and a great play at the last moment by Preston Davis negated a Dallas touchdown. Renfro was waiting to take in 6.
Good protection On the offensive line, you can see this is kind of a Chinese fire drill. All three wide receivers right there. This is just tipped away, deflected.
Oh, Renfro.
Oh, he's saying, oh, no, so close. Give me an opportunity here, and I'll make good on it.
19 seconds to play in the first half. Cowboys have one timeout remaining. Dallas leads the game 7-0. We'll be going to NFL 84 in New York at halftime. The ninth weekend of play. The scores and the stories will be told. And now, Danny White going for the end zone again.
Oh, that's flag. Yes, sir.
Doug Cosby, the tight end, was struck hard by Kofensis, and they're going to call him on it.
What's the record for flags thrown on a penalty? I see 5. That might be the all-timer right there.
This is the year for the all-timer to be set because they're up about 13 or 15% of the penalties.
We had a game, it was last week.
Interference, defense, number 29, spot on the foul, first down.
Mark Kofensis, 29. Oh, you know what? That ball was tipped by Johnny Cooks, 98. And if that's the situation, then there is no such thing as pass interference. I think the Colts should be upset with that. I think that ball was tipped. It certainly appeared to change direction. Let's watch closely. 98 is Cooks. Well, I don't know.
Oh, that's a tough call.
Yeah. The call made, though, was pass interference. That's the only one that counts.
13 seconds left to play in the first half. First and goal from the 5-yard line. Cowboys leading 7-0, looking to extend it before halftime. Here's a throw into the end zone and a touchdown to Cosby. So the big tight end from Santa Clara comes down with the ball from 5 yards out, and the Cowboys go a long way in a short time to take a 13-0 lead.
His third touchdown reception of the season. You'll see Cosby at the right. Now, he has contact here, but tight end's got to win that contact. At the line of scrimmage, he was held up, kept his balance. That's just extreme confidence. The thing that I like that Danny White did there, Cosby's like 6'6". He just threw it about 7 feet tall, allowed him to go up and get it. If he throws it low, somebody's got a chance to tip it away.
9 seconds to play in the first half has set the end. With Ogeboom holding, we'll try the point after.
Block. Vernon Maxwell, 56. They don't give up. You said they don't give up.
Might not seem like a lot now with a 13-0 lead, but by the fourth quarter, it could mean a whole lot.
Watch Maxwell.
Extra point.
Inside the tight end, these Frank Bush teams do not give up, Don. Every play is like the last play of the Super Bowl.
You can go to the bank on that. They're tough and they're well-conditioned. When Bush says, I've got a very well-conditioned team, they got to be ready to run on a marathon because he is not easy in training camp.
Interesting thing he told us last night. Only coach I've ever heard in the NFL that he says, I don't like meetings. When we meet during the week, we go out in the morning for about an hour and a half, and in shorts and helmets, or sweatsuits and helmets, go through the plays we're going to run. Then we go back in, they break for lunch, and they come back out, they put the pads on, they do it again.
Danny White, but he hasn't been that demonstrative today. Talk about Cush being a tough taskmaster. He's about the most approachable, helpful coach you'll ever meet.
Couldn't agree with you more. Frank is not a politician. He's going to give you his side of any situation, whether you like it or not.
He also says one of the things he talked about, he doesn't like meetings. He also says if you want to really get into something useless, get into pregame pep talk.
Yeah. He's won wherever he's been. 32-4 with Danny White as a quarterback at Arizona State.
Septien slips it downfield. The ball is fielded and fell out with 8 seconds left, so the Colts will have time to flang it one more time.
I wonder what Frank says at halftime. Is he rather quiet? Leave it in the hands of Ken Venturi, the defensive coordinator, and Zeke Radkowski, offensive coordinator. They really have not established anything offensively. They've not been able to run the ball at all this first half, but that's not going to discourage them.
Here, new quarterback Herman's coming in. Mark Herman.
Wondered, well, it may be for just one play, though.
Talked about Ken Venturi, the defensive coordinator for Indianapolis. He was the head coach at Northwestern. Had a team that got beat 40-0 by, I think it was Michigan. Said afterwards, the only difference between me and General Custer is he didn't have to watch the game films. Now we have Herman ready to fire on the final play. Downfield it goes to Booza. And it's incomplete. And there's still 2 seconds, so they'll try it again. Be interesting now, Trump, to see if Herman comes in the third quarter.
Yeah. This is a young man that Indianapolis wants to succeed. He is from the Indianapolis area. Incidentally, when he was in high school, his team was undefeated in high school.
Carmel, Indiana.
Goes to Purdue, All-American at Purdue, breaks his thumb, has had nothing but injury problems as a pro. I think he broke his collarbone last year. If Herman has one problem, it's strength of arm.
He was a 4-year starter at Purdue, and when he left, he had set a number of NCAA passing records. Now on second down and 10, Herman takes a deep drop, lets her fly, and downfield it goes, incomplete, and that will do it for the first 2 quarters of play. The Cowboys head to the locker room with some winnings to count. They're up 13-0 over Indianapolis as Mark Herman trots off, and we could very well see him directing the Indianapolis offense in the second half. NFL 84 is coming up. Danny White with a big first half for the Cowboys with his first start of this season. 13-0 Dallas over Indianapolis. NFL 84 is next.